Hi everyone, my name is Mr. Hepting and I work in the Career Center at Lord Tweedsmuir Secondary School. I'm making this PowerPoint today for those of you that are interested in trades programs, specifically those of you that have already begun your pathway to Red Seal certification for a particular trade. That means you could possibly be working already as an apprentice, or possibly you've gone through one of the trades programs at the district level. Either way, we wanted to just lay out the pathway forward for you so you have something to reference in the future when you start going and looking at getting your Red Seal certification. As you may have noticed, the title of this presentation is Next Steps to Becoming a Red Seal in Your Trade, Understanding the ITA. The ITA is the Industry Training Authority. They're the ones responsible for all trade activity in British Columbia. As you see outlined on the slideshow in front of you, they're responsible for issuing credentials, supporting apprenticeships, funding programs, setting the program standards, and they're the ones also that outline the steps to becoming certified in a trade. This is where I want to focus most of my time today, is helping you navigate the ITA, understanding how you can get trained as a Red Seal, as well as helping you navigate their website. Getting certified in a trade with the ITA can take on many different looks. For those of you that perhaps haven't started getting certified yet in high school, of course you can still do this outside after you've graduated high school and go off and get some education, possibly get involved with an employer who could then take you on as an apprentice. The focus of this presentation, however, is for students who have identified fairly early on that they want to go and get involved in a trades program and perhaps get certified as a Red Seal. The two pathways for those of you that have identified this early would be to go into one of these two avenues. The first one, the Train and Trades program, is for students who applied and were accepted into one of the Surrey School District Trade and Trades programs. We offer a number of them within the district, and this is a program where you can go get some certification and already begin your journey towards Red Seal certification. For those of you that perhaps either applied and didn't get into one of those programs, or who just simply didn't apply at all and are still interested in trades programs, and perhaps have been working in the industry that you're interested in getting certified in, you could get signed on as something called a hidden apprentice. This is a second pathway for high school students that we can be involved with before you graduate. When you sign up for one of the two pathways that was identified in the previous slide, be it the Train and Trades program or as a hidden apprentice, you will have been given an ITA identification number. This number, which is unique to you, is a number that you'll use throughout your certification. As you accumulate hours as an apprentice, and as you complete technical training for your specific trade, you're going to be using that identification number, and the ITA will help track your hours as well as your certification. It's really important that you keep track of this number. If for any reason you've lost track of it or you're not sure where to find it, please visit the Career Center and we can give you some help in retrieving it. Now that you have your ITA identification number, you are going to need to activate a new account. In order to do this, you are going to have to go to the ITA website. This next slide will show you a couple screenshots which help you identify exactly how to do that. In order to locate the Industry Training Authority website, the simplest thing to do would be to go into Google and just search for it. Once you arrive at their homepage, you're going to find that it looks somewhat like the page on the left-hand side of your screen. The Sign In button at the top is where you're going to begin to start creating your new account. The picture on the right shows you what next box will pop up. Because you already have your individual identification number, you are going to select the one that's circled, Begin Your Account Activation. You have already your identification number, so now you're just going to simply enter your personal information, including your email, and create an actual account. Make sure that you take note of what your username, password, as well as that identification number are, so you have them to reference back to for future. You are going to be coming back to this website to add in new hours as well as additional training that you receive, so make sure you keep that in a secure location. Now that you've created your account and you have your unique identification number, it's time to get hired on as an apprentice. We need to do this in order to earn hours towards your certification. All trades require that you have some hands-on training, and it has to be done underneath a red sealed employee. So when you're choosing a company, it's very important that you identify yourself as someone who wants to become an apprentice and ensure that the person that you're training under has red sealed certification. In order to locate a company, there's a number of pathways you can go, but one of them is to use the ITA's website. On the website, you'll see there's a list of companies that are hiring in your trade, and you can simply contact them to find out what opportunities may exist for you to go there and work as an apprentice. In order to use the ITA website to help you find a job, you're going to simply start off on their homepage. Here you're going to select Trades Programs. Once you've clicked on that, select your trade. I'm going to choose for the purposes of this an auto service tech position. Once I select that, I can go down to the bottom and select View Jobs. When I click on View Jobs, it's going to take me to another website called WorkBC. Here there's going to be a direct link to different employers that are offering positions in that particular trade field. You can also select more filters, which allows you to refine your search a little bit more by location. This brings us to step 4, completing apprenticeship forms. Now that you've created your own account and you were hired on as an apprentice, we have to go ahead and fill in all of the apprenticeship forms. The Career Center has a copy of each one of the forms that you're going to require. The Youth Apprentice and Sponsor Registration Form, the Work-Based Training Hours Report Form, and for those of you that are going through the pathway of Hidden Apprenticeship, the Hidden Apprentice Package. It's important that you come to the Career Center and get these documents. Without them, you will not be considered completely registered, and the hours that you begin to work with your new employer will not be tracked towards your certification. So very important that we follow through on these steps. So come to the Career Center to collect these forms and we can help work through those with you. Step 5, keep in touch and track your hours with your career facilitator. Now that you've completed your apprenticeship forms and you've likely graduated and have begun to work under a Red Seal employer, you can be eligible for the Youth Work and Trades Award. This is a $1,000 award, and it's fairly simple to achieve. What you must do is submit your WBT or work-based training hours to your career facilitator on a regular basis. You must also achieve 900 hours in total, and you have until December of your graduating year to complete these. The 900 hours should be easily achievable if you are working in a full-time capacity, as most jobs require you to work 40 hours per week. It's also important to note, as is written at the bottom, that if you were to change employers or if your personal information changes due to moving or whatever, during your certification, you will need to update your Youth Apprentice and Sponsor registration forms. Step 6, receive money through awards and grants. In the last step, I talked about keeping track of your hours and reporting them back to your career facilitator. This allows you to be eligible for that Youth Work and Trades Award I spoke about, which is worth $1,000. There are other grants available as well, up to $4,000 for the men and $8,000 for women who are pursuing an underrepresented trade. There are 3 awards or grants you can apply for as you progress through your certification. If you didn't get eligible or were unable to achieve the Youth Work and Trades Award, you can still apply for Apprenticeship Incentive Grants, called AIG for short. There's 2 of them worth $1,000, or if you're a woman in the trades, possibly up to $3,000 each. For level 4 apprenticeships, this is now when you're completing your Red Seal certification. you can apply for what's called the ACG, or the Apprenticeship Completion Grant, and that is also worth an additional $2,000. In order to find out additional information about the grants, or in order to apply, it's important you go back to the ITA website. From the home page, you click on Apprentice Services, then click on Financial Supports. Here you will see who qualifies and how you can go about applying for these different grants. Step 7. Continue your education. In order to achieve Red Seal status in your trade, you will need to further your education. The fact that you're earning hours as an apprentice is great, but in order to move up the levels in terms of certification, you're also going to need some formal training. The ITA website has a link to schools that provide trade-specific training. You will need to complete certain levels of apprenticeship hours before you are eligible to register for those classes. How do you know when you can register? Well, you will receive a letter of progression, it's called, from the ITA upon completing the required number of hours for each level. Upon receiving that letter of progression, you can then apply to the different trade schools and begin formal training. In order to find a training provider for your specific trade, you can do this by accessing the ITA website once again. Here you click on Trades Programs, then select the trade you're interested in. At the bottom, you will find an option to view training providers. This is the link you're going to want to click on. Then click on Trades Training BC, and that's going to take you to their website. Here you can find all the different types of training providers, their locations, and even their availability. This is the best place to start to find your future training. Step 8, ongoing reporting of hours. In the beginning, when you are reporting your hours, you're going to be giving them back to your career facilitators. They will be, on your behalf, submitting them to the ITA. After you've achieved the 900 hours, however, and hopefully the Youth Work and Trades Award has been given to you, you are going to begin reporting your own work-based training hours. You're also going to submit your technical training education to the ITA as well. Once you have your hours, your training, and you've received a letter of progression from the ITA, you will be eligible to apply for the AIG and ACG grants. Links to those two applications can be found on the ITA website, as I outlined earlier. It's also up to you to make sure that if you change employers or your personal information changes, that you are able to pass that information along to the ITA. This is a really important step so that they can keep all of their records up to date. In order to see the different levels of certification for your specific program, the best way to do that is to go to the ITA's website. Once on the site, you're going to again select your specific trade program. Then you're going to scroll to the bottom and find an area where it says Program Profile and Download. This is a PDF document that you can download, which has all sorts of information about that particular program. It's important that you scroll through and get an idea of what's expected of you as you go through certification. One of the most important pages is to see the visual representation of the different levels of certification. The one I've included here is for those that are in the auto service tech, but of course a different one will apply depending on which trade you're going into. This gives you a general overview, though, of the hours that are expected and the types of training that's expected in order to pursue a Red Seal certification. This final slide gives you an overview of your next steps to becoming a Red Seal. On the left-hand side, you are going to see the pathway for someone who is, say, in the auto service tech industry and is interested in becoming a Red Seal. You'll see all the steps for the hours that you need to achieve and the training that you need to receive in order to become a Red Seal in that particular trade. On the right-hand side, I've taken that same diagram and just applied it to high school. There were two paths, if you recall, at the very beginning of the slideshow that outlined the two different entry points for students. The first was students who complete youth train and trades programs, and the second was for students who are entering as a hidden apprentice. Either way, you will still need to complete a certain number of work-based training hours as well as technical training in order to proceed up the levels from level 1, 2, 3, and 4 en route to becoming a Red Seal. Of course, this diagram is going to be different for each of the different trades, so it's important that you familiarize yourself with what's required of you. I hope you enjoyed listening to this presentation. I hope you found it useful. If you have further questions, feel free to stop by the Career Center and speak to one of us in there. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.